The 1960s were a time where peace, love, and happiness were important ideals for everyone, especially for the younger generation. At this time, the baby boomers were growing to be adults and wanted to be completely different people from their conservative predecessors of the 1950s. One change these young people made was the anti-war peace protests. Many baby boomers were sent to Vietnam, so those left at home longed for the war to end. Another of these changes was the music scene. Pop music was introduced, and artists like Aretha Franklin, Jimi Hendrix, The Temptations, the Beach Boys, and the Beatles became very popular. The invention of the synthesizer in 1960 gave musicians a new sound. The Beatles began in Liverpool, but Beatlemania quickly spread to the U.S. One thing, aside from their music, that the Beatles were admired for was their long hairstyles. Although their hair was disapproved of by many adults, it soon became more widely accepted. During the 60s, drug use reached an all-time high, helping cause the peace revolutions, which became ironically violent at times. Drugs and new instrumentation influenced artists to write about themes of peace, love, and happiness. In their album Past Masters Volume 2, the Beatles asserted through themes of love, joy, and open-mindedness that humans are naturally good and can do great things just by being themselves, bringing society together. The Beatles used their music to show that love of all types bring out the best in people, causing the peace in society. Lennon and McCartney both exemplified the love for their mothers in their music. Both of their mothers and Lennon's father died when they were young, so their music had less rebellion against parental authority than most American rock.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
Contrary to popular belief, Mother Mary is referring to McCartney's mother as opposed to the Virgin Mary. Her death is often brought up in McCartney's lyrics because of the admiration and love he had for her. Let It Be has a soft melody with McCartney on the acoustic piano showing his affection for his mother. This song quickly became one of the Beatles' most popular songs, and this love spread throughout society. The song Revolution is about young Americans lusting for a peace revolution and the response of the Beatles if it becomes violent.
We all want to change the world, but when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out?
As you heard, the instrumentation of this part of the song is upbeat, containing horns as well as quick, repeated notes on the trumpet. The Beatles were conveying the view of Britain at the time by stating that Britain wanted to stay out of whatever violent revolution was going to happen in America. These lines acknowledge Lennon and Yoko Ono's relationship, and that now that they are together, things will get better for them both. A Fender jazz bass is used in this song, giving it a jazzier tune than their other songs. In this, Lennon created a feeling of joy and happiness by expressing his love for Yoko. Lennon's love for Yoko and McCartney's love for Linda was expressed in a way of salvation. The synthesizer is used throughout this song, keeping an upbeat tempo which is meant to create the image of Japan, Yoko's home country, in the listener's mind. Many people look down upon Lennon and Yoko's relationship because of her origin, but they stayed with each other despite their struggles. This song shows that in the end, people were happy for them because Lennon remained steadfast to his love. The song Hey Jude displayed the Beatles' views on love.
Remember to let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better.
This is used to show that letting love into the life of Julian, Lennon's son, would bring happiness to both him and the woman he loves. In these lines, the vocals go up and down the scale once in each line, showing the ups and downs of Julian's life at the time, but that when he accepts the love for this woman, he will be able to improve both his and her lives. The Beatles also use the idea of joy to express that when people remain true to their being, they can always find happiness, which spreads, thus bringing people together.
Life is very short, and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again.
At this point in the song, the music changes to a slower, quieter melody. A cymbal and keyboard duet creates a harmony with an almost wheezy tone to it. This change shows their discontent for violence and their sincere wishes for joy and peace, two themes that ultimately bring people together.
Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes.
These two lines use the personification of light, saying that it dances, presenting a happy disposition, explaining that the images may be unclear, but they bring joy to those that see them. The idea of open-mindedness was used by the Beatles to convey that when people are more accepting, society becomes greater as a whole.
And I need a job, so I wanna be a paperback writer.
The lyrics convey that people need to accept others for who they are and what they want to be. The song's slow, dreary melody parallels the empathy the Beatles had for people that find it difficult to achieve their dreams. The Eastern themes heard in some of the later songs on the album portray how society strengthens positive growth of good ideals.
The farther one travels, the less one knows, the less one really knows.
In this song, the Indian double reed instrument, the sanai, and the sitar were used to create a picture of India in the listener's mind. This foreign image exhibits a feeling of travel, showing that when a person leaves society, they leave their ideals behind. Therefore, without a structured society, all positive growth of ideals end. The Beatles conveyed through peace, love, joy, and open-mindedness that people can bring society together in a harmonious state just by being human. Until people tolerate others for who they are, no matter their race, gender, or sexual orientation, and find the joy in life, society will not be united peacefully.